We're back. I like this hook. You got a book you want to tell us about? Well, let's talk. There's no other place to do it. Only on Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze.
Hello, old friends. We're back again. Welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast Audio Mix. I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man, Vera. And I'm with...
George Medina.
You are foul.
It is what it is. I think that's what it's going to be. That's just it. That's what it's going to be.
You
That's it.
shall
I
not
don't even care.
pass.
Don't care.
Jeez, George, come on. To the hip, dip, the hop, you don't
give
stop.
you more. Give you something more. I'm sorry, dude. That's all I got.
Jesus.
That's all I got for you.
Lackluster. Everybody paid tickets.
Lackluster.
Everybody tickets. He went up to the bat. They're like, "Oh man, he's fresh out. We paid $20 million for this fresh recruit," and he goes up at bat. Strike.
Lies. All
Swing.
lies.
Strike.
It's fine. Still work. All right, fine. I'll work on it next week.
Next week. Every week is next week.
Every week, bro.
Every week is next
It
week.
sounds exactly the same. Whatever. Don't judge me.
Yeah, you like that girlfriend. It's like, can we just be friends? But she said he's just a friend. So, George, this is episode what?
155. Losing track, bro. Yeah, well, I believe it's 155.
155. Say it loud. Say it proud.
They're going by so quick, bro. We're just banging them out.
Rapido.
Banging them out.
Rapido. So, who do we have on the show today?
Today we have SeerNova Comics, and these gentlemen are very interesting because they're starting something that I think it's something very good for independents. You know, you have the Comixology, and you can download comics from that platform, but they started their own SeerNova Comics where you can, you know, put up your comic collection on there, and it works similar to Comixology. I'll let them explain it and go into detail on it, but yeah. They're going to be on the show a little later on today.
And prior to them coming on the show, I think one of our topics is going to be overcoming writer's block. What happens when you hit a wall?
Silence is what happens when you hit a wall.
Let us ponder for a moment. It's quite perplexing.
Dude, I'm sure that's a very common thing.
Yes.
Writer's block.
Yes. So how do you overcome writer's block, George?
How do I overcome writer's block? Jeez, man. I try to, like, let's say if I'm writing a story,
right,
and I get stuck on something on that story, I try to go out and maybe write something else, you know, do something completely different from what I'm currently writing and try to get those, you know, juices flowing again so that I can say, oh, wow, you know what? Boom, I can go back to this one. So I try to have a couple of things going at once, and when I get stuck there, boom, go over here, or maybe go watch something, read something, you know, get some kind of inspiration some other way.
So before we go to some of the remedies,
yes, because you
what are some of the symptoms that create writer's block?
WebMD, okay.
Oh yes, right.
What are some of the symptoms?
Doctor, feel good.
What are you drinking?
This is my veggie juice. It's wheatgrass. It's arugula, it's turmeric, cinnamon, what is it? Apple cider vinegar.
Jesus, dude.
Let's see what else.
Is that supposed to cleanse you?
It's no, but it has 3 scoops of protein powder, 20 grams each scoop, so about 60 grams of protein.
After the show, you're gonna be busy.
1 spoon of peanut butter, some carrots, mango, and half a banana.
Sorry, I asked.
With,
Jesus Christ.
with cactus water.
Oh my God. Holy cow.
I don't like anything heavy in my belly when I'm going to sleep at night. So especially because I work late. So it helps. Number 1, you get all your nutrients, and then number 2, in the morning,
bam,
it's gone.
Good to go.
Gone with the wind. Flushed out. Flush it.
All right.
All right,
Anyway, so go ahead.
So
yes.
What are some of the symptoms, or what are some of the things that can cause writer's block, in your opinion?
What are some of the things that cause writer's block?
Yeah, what can be a symptom of writer's block?
I don't know. I think uncertainty. like if you're not sure about something, I think sometimes that'll cause you to stop and say, geez, what the hell am I doing? Oh, now I don't know okay, where am I going with this thing? And then all of a sudden you get stuck. So I think the uncertainty of maybe, and unfortunately happens to us, maybe you don't know your story as well as you thought you did. And you got to go back to the drawing board and start all over again. So I think that there may be a number. That's the ones that I can think off the top of my head. But yeah, what are some of your symptoms? What do you think causes it?
My brain.
Your brain causes it.
Yeah, my brain causes it because I want to do so many things. And what happens?
So you think overloading?
Yes,
it's an overload.
Yes. It's like symptoms. What happens is I start out the day and I say, you know what? I'm going to write the next few pages to Duty Chapter 6. There's nearly in my toilet. But then as I'm going, I might get influenced by something I see and say, well, I got to finish that Forbidden book. Then I go over. And then I get into a conversation that with a family member or somebody at work, and it just distracts my mind because then I have to, I have to get that stuff done. I got to go to the bank. Right. And then when I go back, I forgot what I was going to do. And then I'm stuck on where to begin. Wow. So it's that hurricane, is that A to the dramatic DD, right? It's like the triple D. So I think what happens is I overthink. I overcomplicate, and then I hit a wall. So what works for me sometimes coming out of that funk takes a minute. Yeah. And I'm talking about like a week, 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
Trace.
So it works. What do you do?
So what I try to do is find influencers. So I go into these phases. I don't know if you guys know this, or if you know this. You won't know this if you've gone through this. I go through these freaking phases, right? So I need influence, and I love reference books, and I love art books. Like the behind the scenes of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or the making of Star Wars, or the making of, I don't know, Pop Girl, I don't know, any kind of Disney animation. And I look at the references, and I love reading some of the backstories, and I love looking at the storyboards, and it helps get those creative juices going. Then what happens is sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because then I go back and I start to draw, and then I don't know what to draw anymore, right? So it all depends. So
you're talking about not just writer's block, you're talking about artist block. Like sometimes you just can't even draw.
Just a damn wall.
You're just blocked.
It's a freaking wall. And it's the number one question I ask all of my candidates is what do you do when you hit a wall, right? When I hit a wall, I'm like, there's no one way to get out of it. You got to find what works for you. And I think for me, if I can't find the influence through watching a movie, reading a book, taking a walk, like you said, trying something different, then I just have to sit it out until it kicks in. Because you can't force it, because it's not natural, it's not organic.
Yeah, no, you should never force that. Yeah.
I think with the show, this allows me to explore another creative outlet. Yeah. While thinking about what I need to do with the other end, right? Because I have 2 projects on the back burner. One is in full force, the other one is like in limbo. Days in my toilet, because I've been focusing on everything else. So I think. Where I was reading up on how people overcome, but I think you said it. You hit it. Try to take a walk, go and do something.
Is that one of them? One of the ones?
Yeah.
I didn't even read. I know you did your research, but I was just some of the things that kind of helped me.
Yeah. So I'm on my iPad.
This kid is fancy, son.
I'm so fancy. So overcoming writer's block. One of the tips is implement a writing schedule. Right? It says carve out a time to write and then ignore the writer's block. What if he's just sitting right in front of you? How do you ignore him? It's like, yo, dude, can I get my space? It's like, how do you ignore him?
How do you ignore them?
Right? But I think that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Show up to write even if nothing comes right away.
So force it.
Force it.
It's saying force that.
Right?
Wow.
Man, that is pretty fantastic.
Force it out, bro.
When your body shows up to the page at the same time and place every day, when your body shows up to the page at the same time and place every day, eventually your mind and your muse will do the same.
Wow.
Oh, so basically,
train yourself. It's like a training thing.
You got to meet at the park.
Meet at the park.
And then say, "Are you ready?"
Just go.
Right? So don't be too hard on yourself. That's me.
You're very hard on yourself.
I'm very overly critical. I think that's a problem I have.
I think that would cause the block too. If you're
Yeah.
critical of yourself, you're gonna
That's why I hit
you're
those
gonna block
walls.
yourself.
Yes. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, think of writing as a regular job and less as an art.
Wow.
Interesting.
Think of writing as a job.
Yes. I like that. Do tell. Stephen King, a famously prolific
right.
author, uses the metaphor of a toolbox to talk about writing on writing. Intentionally
His book, I think.
linking it to physical work. If we think of ourselves as laborers, as craftsmen, it's easy to sit down and write. Okay,
There you go.
there you go. Take time off if you've just finished a project. Oh, so
So take a little break.
yes. Goes for a swim, go bike ride,
Swim.
feed the squirrels, do something, right? Set deadlines and keep them. That's the stuff. So the
Deadlines.
good thing about working with an artist who, one of the things that we outlined was timelines, right?
So he has a deadline. You give him
Yeah.
a
So
deadline.
I gave him 3. What was it? 2 months per book. I think it was
You might want to check. You might want to make
3
sure.
months per book.
Okay.
So we did 3 months per book, right? So it was 3 books, 9 months, right? So that gives him time to flesh it out, get the approvals from me, talk through some.
And he's doing pencils and inks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means I needed to commit to make sure he gets the scripts on time,
Right.
so I don't get to play,
Yeah.
right? So that's a good strategy. I agree 100%. Examine deep-seated issues behind your writer's block.
Wow.
I got problems.
Damn.
I got 99
So
problems
you
and
gotta
writing
analyze
at one.
yourself.
Yes.
What's wrong with you?
Yes. So, sir, I think you have an issue. What do you do?
You definitely have issues. Now you have issues.
What do you do?
Yeah, for sure.
Samuel? Yes, Sam. Can we talk? Absolutely, Sam.
Oh,
What would you like
man.
to talk about? I'm just saying. So,
Carry on.
George is getting nervous. She's like, oh, he's
Jesus,
losing
this
it.
kid is crazy.
Work on more than one project at a time.
Ah,
So yes, that
you
works.
have that
That
back
works.
and forth.
Have some sort of balance, some substance, right? Try writing exercises. Please
Writing-
explain.
Writing exercises.
As much as it may remind you of your high school writing class, free writing exercises can loosen up your mind and get you to write things you would never write otherwise. Yes, because what I find, I agree, right? So, what I find is I like writing poetry, but I don't. It has to be. I have to be inspired to write poetry. So that's also an outlet for me to get away from writing, because I'm writing a graphic novel, plus I'm writing a comic book, and then plus this. So for me, it's like, all right. Sometimes it's an outlet for me to write things. I don't know, just talking. All right. Reconsider your writing space. Are your desk and chair comfortable?
Wow.
Yes. Right? Yeah, your buttocks can't be on fire. You'll be comfortable. Right? Is your space well lit? Well, I think we have plenty of lights. What do you think? Lights? All right. And would it help to try writing in a coffee shop for a change? That works.
It does work.
It does work.
That works a lot, bro.
I think when we started out, we were in Starbucks a lot.
Oh, we used to be at Starbucks, but even now, like sometimes,
yeah.
no, sometimes you'll go into, for some reason, that ambiance makes you want to just start writing. Like, I don't know
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
Maybe it's because of all the stories you hear about stories being written at coffee. Well, I don't know.
It's the cool factor.
I guess.
Yes. Yeah,
Break out your laptop. Yeah.
You feel important.
Right.
I am somebody.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to be a superstar, man.
Yes.
And then remember why you started to write in the first place, George.
That's right.
Why did we start to
Duh.
write? Right?
Dummy.
Yeah, no, right? You're very intelligent. Where were you these past 10 years?
Dude, freaking email me that link.
Yes, it's called The Balanced Careers.
Nah,
.com.
is that all of it?
Yeah, this was the top 10. It was 10,
Nice,
10
all right.
tips. It's called 10 Tips for Overcoming Writer's Block.
Those are some good tips.
Yeah. How do you overcome writer's block? That's what I want to know. How are you? I'm looking at you. Put the damn hoagie down, right? How do you overcome writer's block? We like to know. Tell us what you think. Right?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, I definitely have to I have to say I do like the whole idea of going to a coffee shop or writing more than one thing, but I never thought about forcing yourself to kind of write. Say, okay, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm sitting here. I'm not gonna stop until I write something. It's a bit forceful, but I guess it
feels
it
like
works.
punishment sometimes.
It does.
Right? It feels like but you can. I mean, I think one of the biggest who was it that I was watching an interview with. I don't know if it was J.K. Rowling. I don't know who it was. As the biggest contributor to writer's block is interference. People around that's constantly interfering. Your phone, all these things, whatever, distractions. All the distractions.
That is a big distraction. The
Yes.
phone is a big distraction for me.
Yes.
And I get easily distracted as it is. So if you throw a phone in front of me and it's lighting up, I'm like, what is that? Even now, you'll see me like kind of look down. Yeah,
And
no, very distracting. Turn that
if
shit
you're
around.
me, you know how hard it is, George. Seriously, when you're talking, you'll say a word, and it triggers a song, and I want to break out into song, and that's the hardest thing for me to say. Sam, keep it serious. Keep
No,
it
you can
serious.
break into song.
But you'll
Dude,
say
that's
a
you.
word, I'm like, oh, you gotta be professional.
Dude, it happened. Come on, really?
Yeah.
So that means that the two that you broke into in the last 15 minutes, I don't know how many you've done already, but you were holding back. There were more. You could have had more.
Because you were in the serious zone, so I want to keep him in his element before I
go
start.
crazy. What are you talking about? Serious? There is no serious zone. You just go, bro.
Yo, you don't understand. There's a beast in there. I gotta contain him.
It's a beast.
I gotta
in there.
contain him. He's crazy. Hence, Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
Gotcha.
You know. But so who's our guest on today?
SeerNova Comics.
SeerNova Comics, and
Yes.
and so we have two people calling in today.
Yeah, it's a duo. So it's Greg and Dylan, and they started this company, and they're gonna tell us all about it.
So they also have a
I wanna know.
podcast.
Yeah, I believe they also have a podcast. Yeah.
Ah.
So yeah, I definitely wanna ask them all about that
basically,
stuff.
we're speaking to the competitor. Is that what you're saying?
I look at them more as colleagues.
Is that what you say? See, that's
We're
what I'm
more
saying.
colleagues.
The polished one.
Colleagues.
See?
Yo, you over here? You're from the hood, bro.
Say what you need to say.
Here we go.
Say what you need to say.
That's that kid that climbed walls
Yes.
last week.
Yes.
Can't believe you climbed walls and 3 stories and then fell backwards and survived.
Yeah. Oh,
You're like unbreakable, bro.
I broke. But I just
Broke.
healed quick. So I just healed quick.
Crazy.
I don't heal as quick now anymore.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, and I think we got a couple
Isn't
minutes before they call. But I was.
You got a story?
I got a story. No,
You gotta get
about falling and breaking.
Okay, good.
Right. So I was at work and we were taking down things, and this one knucklehead tells me, "Why are you taking one shelf at a time? Why don't you just do multiple shelves?" So I went to do it, and all the shelves collapsed, and it was about 20 shelves, and they broke even the brackets that hold the shelves up, landed on my foot.
Oh.
Had contusions all over my toes. It looked like a purple
on.
nurple, right? So I'm going straight to, those walk-ins, MD,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Mhm.
I go in, you got contusions, they want me to be out for a couple weeks. I said, I can't be out for you crazy? I got a business to run. So I go to work with my foot up because I have an office, so I can keep my feet up, right? So I'm hobbling home, and I'm grabbing the laundry basket, going to the staircase to go take the laundry, and one of my little dogs, Chihuahua, walks underneath my foot, and I go tumbling down the stairs. All I saw was Jesus reaching out to me. I was like, Jesus! And I went straight down the stairs, and I busted my elbow. So I'm at work with a brace.
What is yo?
So I break, but I still continue.
You
I'm
continue.
just saying.
You carry on. You
Yeah.
carry on.
It's horrible.
Oh,
It's
man.
horrible, man.
You are
Yeah.
funny, bro.
It is funny.
Your stories are just
Yes.
legendary.
So just watch out, because that might be lightning when you're around me. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's just attracted to me.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
But man, how we go from writer's block to you busting your making butt going down some stairs?
Well, that's how I got writer's block.
That's what happened.
That's
How you cleared it. That's how you were able to write some more stories.
Yeah.
So wait, so you said there's an alien mytology is a limbo. Why? You just don't know where you're going with it,
It's
or
stuck.
Yeah.
That's the writer's block. So I'm currently at a blockade with Alien in my toilet because I've been working on Forbidden. So it's because there's two polar opposite types of stories.
yeah,
One is a fantasy, dramatic,
right. They're so different.
epic,
Yeah.
and the other one was humor, goofy, off the wall,
Yeah,
sci-fi comedy. And because I'm so engulfed and forbidden, to get the humor back has been hard, because normally when I draw the pages, the story writes itself.
So you don't have a script. You don't write a script for duty.
I think the only script that I wrote for duty was issue 1, and the rest of it wrote out itself as I drew the pages. And the dialogue just, I have the plot lines, so I have the plot for every issue.
Yeah.
That was already written. But the what happens is I started drawing it. Oh,
we're getting a call. Well, we're gonna continue this right after.
Hello, welcome to Catch the Craze podcast.
Late. I gotta merge the call with Dylan.
Well, then we'll go to commercial. As you do that. He's at mute.
All right.
Greg.
Can you hear me clearly, by the way?
Yeah, I merged it.
There we go.
Merged it?
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Is this Greg and Dylan?
Yes, it is. I'm going to look at my headphones real quick so it's a little crisper to hear you and pick up my voice.
Yeah. No worries. How's it going, guys?
Doing pretty good. Finally finished moving all of my boxes either into my room or into the kitchen since I just moved to Nashville.
Did you really? Wow. Wait, you moved to Nashville from where?
From upstate New York.
Wow.
That's a big change.
That's a big. So what made you go to Nashville?
Basically, my goal is actually to end up in San Francisco.
Okay.
And my brother needed some help out in Nashville, and it's halfway there. So I figured, why the hell not? I work from home, so I don't need to be anywhere in particular.
That's awesome.
And
dude.
so I was like, fuck it. I love Nashville anyways. I almost moved here about 3 years ago anyways. So I figured, why not, give it a fun little trial run. And I'm hoping to eventually make enough money that I can have a place here and have a place in San Francisco and eventually even a place in New York City.
There you go. And cover the whole country. That's awesome.
Yeah, when you paused for a second, I thought you were going to say I was running from the mob, but that's even better.
Yeah, it's like if I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Yeah. That's awesome, guys. All right, so who moved to Nashville, Greg or Dylan? Dylan. All right, Dylan. So I'm George, and that's Sam that you hear on the other side there. And we started this podcast, right, with the idea of just getting independent artists on the show to talk about some of their projects. And when I say artists, I'm not just talking about comic book artists. I'm talking about everybody, right? So I came across you guys on Instagram, SeerNova Comics, and I found very interesting what you guys were doing. And I think I spoke to Greg a little bit about it, but if you can tell us all what SeerNova Comics is, because I think that everybody's interested. So what is SeerNova Comics?
So Greg, you want to take that?
All right. So we make our own comics. I started writing like 5 years ago one day. I was really bored and I just started writing, and it just turned into this like giant graphic novel. And then I split it apart into a bunch of different other comics that we're going to be releasing in the coming years. And I took the name from my brother's old company that he had called SeerNova, and it was all about like art and everything that he wanted to do, but then that didn't actually happen because his partner, like, he just left like the company. He just dissolved it. So I took that name and I put comics after it, and we're going to basically be doing everything that he wanted to do. So we're going to focus on anything indie related, so indie comics, art, music, and we're actually going to start doing like games and stuff. Sweet.
So the book that you said that turned into a graphic novel, is that the Seer Chronicles?
Yep.
Okay, so that's that's a bunch of different characters in one book, or is it like different stories in that one book? Is it like an anthology, or is it like one story that kind of goes for, I don't know how many pages you have on that?
One multiple. Well, it's not an anthology, but it's a graphic novel that has multiple plots going on that all connect to one big plot, and then the other comics you can either read just the comics or you can actually read all of it if you want, obviously, and it all connects.
Yeah, it's kind of like as deep as like the Lord of the Rings, where like they broke it up into a trilogy, so there's like a ton of plots going on simultaneously.
Right.
So that's kind of like how the comic book's going to be broken apart, is focusing on those individual plots, almost like small episodes.
Gotcha. And you guys are you doing this? Like, are you printing this, or are you doing it all? Is it all online?
So we have our own platform where we have our comic, the digital version, and we have a bunch of other indie creators with their comics on there as well. Right now we have the second version of the Seer Chronicles because we had a first version that was not the best.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got a new artist that is the art that's currently in the book, and we just added a few more pages after with the Kickstarter because we got funded.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah. So that's an extra 5 or 6 pages.
Right.
And that is going to be uploaded as soon as we get the money from Kickstarter. And that'll be uploaded on our website digitally, and we'll send it out to the backers that supported us. And we're printing it with the dropshipping company Ready Comics.
Mm. There are so many of the of those companies now. You have I know a lot of people use Kablam, and then what was the name of the one that you guys are using?
Ready Comics.
Ready Comics. All right, yeah, I got to look into that. So, but okay,
Yeah.
So the thing that attracted me about you guys was the platform that you're talking about. So tell us a little bit about the platform itself. And I say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost like it's almost like Comixology, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like Comixology. There's a couple things that we're trying to make a little better with it. So, for example, we're trying to make it more interactive. So the first thing we did was we made it so you can actually flip through the comics like as if you're holding it. So that we found a couple of good plugins that allow you to view a comic book as if it's a physical comic book just on your computer. So you can flip pages, you can rotate it, you can angle it.
Oh, nice.
So that was the first thing. And in the future, we're looking to go even a little further. We were working with somebody, Greg, I can't remember if he was in Ohio, the voice actor who's trying to get basically animated comics.
Oh, no, our artist is in Ohio.
Where's the voice actor guy? Remember?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, there we go, yeah. And we were talking about making it so that eventually we could have a plugin where you'd upload a comic that actually has, like, picture each panel being like a GIF, maybe with a sound available for it.
Nice.
So, it's almost like cutting, like almost like taking little, what it would be like storyboarding, but animating them.
Wow, cool, man. So that's coming. That's not on the website yet, right?
Correct. That's down the line. But the thing that's on the website now is the availability to flip through comics.
Nice. And I see you guys have tons of books on here already, right? How do you have a number as to how many comics you already have on the platform?
55.
Wow, that's amazing, dude. So
we're trying to get at least 50 more before the end of this year.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, definitely. And the comics that you have on here now, they're all creator owned, right? So this is these comics that are on the website. Some of them are yours, but some of them belong to other independent comic book creators, and they have all the rights to their own books, right? You guys don't keep any rights or anything like that, right? Just walk us through the whole process.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, we're looking to just be a platform where they can grow themselves. We're very adamant about making sure people are aware, like they can put it on Comixology if they want. We're just a platform that's helping connect indie creators
right
with indie comic book enthusiasts or indie artist enthusiasts, because a lot of people, have grown tired of stuff like Marvel and DC where
right.
It's the same story over and over again. And so we want to give them a platform where all of these stories are unique because they're coming from people outside of the industry.
Gotcha. And I'm on your website now. I see that you've broken it down to categories. So you have like action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, Like you have a long list: sci-fi, superhero. You even have something called uncategorized. Like you just have like stories for days. So anybody who has a story can essentially reach out to you guys and say, "Hey guys, I'm interested." What is the process of getting on your site? What happens? What do they have to do? They have to contact you. How does that work?
Okay, so either since I'm literally like really searching, because I said right after the Kickstarter, I'm gonna like super promote our website
Yeah.
before we do this thing called saying a little bit about disappearing. But I'm trying to get like 50 more creators at least on there before the end of the year.
Right.
And so I actually just made a post yesterday on Instagram, and then I shared it on Facebook or whatever. And there's at least 3 to 4 people. Actually, there's like 6 people that want to put their comics on there that are new. And I messaged 4 of them so far, and I sent them this form that Dylan made that made it way easier.
Yeah, so essentially they can contact us however they want, but we're also actively searching for people.
Right.
And then essentially there's like a simple form we created that gathers all the information we need for the comic, like, you know, what's the name, if there's a subtitle, the author, if it's in a series, what number is it, things like that.
Gotcha.
And then it allows you to upload the comic at the end, or if it's too large, they can inform us and we can acquire it a different way.
I see. And this is done through the website. So like they'll go like SeerNovaComics.com, and then they hit like what, the contact bar or something, and they contact you, or they can reach out to you.
Yeah, they can contact us through any social media platform or on the website under contact. Eventually, we're going to try to get a page where they can submit to be on our website, because we still do some vetting. Like we've had some creators come to us and we're like, we don't think you're ready yet to really put that online.
Right.
Like it's not like if we think that, because we've seen tons of indie creators, so we can tell kind of just at a glance like whether or not it's to at least an appropriate level where someone will enjoy reading it.
Gotcha.
And so we still vet a little bit, but if we're seeking you out, then obviously it's because we think the comic is ready for viewing.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like, do you have like some kind of parameters? Is there some things that just you won't put up? Like if it's, I don't know, if it's appropriate, or like, you know, like are there things that you guys, other than, you know, is it something that people will enjoy? Pretty much.
No,
you'll put
there's
up
no, there. Yeah, as long as, even if the niche is really small, it's more just the quality of the comic, regardless of what it talks about or how it's drawn. Like, you know, like we don't care if it looks like manga or the typical Marvel look of a comic.
Right.
But we've had some comics that the drawings are like very abstract. Like it looks more like, you know, art you see on a wall instead of in a comic, and that's fine too. It's more like if we see something that it comes in where it's like, you know, you could tell they kind of just started drawing. There's not really a plot or a story to it, and they're just kind of getting into it, and they're looking to put it online. And we're like, you know, maybe work on your skills a little bit more first. But we don't mind being the sounding board. Like we've had people come to us and, you know, chat with us about their comics, and we're like, you know, we'll give feedback, so we're not going to just be like no.
Right. No, I hear you.
We'll let them know what they have to work on and you know, how they can do it.
I got you. Do you guys do conventions? Do you guys promote this at conventions, or how are you getting the word around?
We are strictly social media at the moment, but I'm hoping next year we'll actually be able to do conventions.
Gotcha. No, that sounds great, man. I think it's a very good opportunity for like you said, for like the independents to be able to put their stuff on there. And there's an actual platform that's dedicated to them. Is it now? Is this also is it like a month, like you pay for, like I said, a monthly payment that you make when you not when you put your comics up there, but for people who want to enjoy the comics, not just the comic creators, but the people who want to actually enjoy the comics? What do? They go on your website, and do they pay like a monthly fee for these things, or how does that work?
So we have a couple different things going on. We have some people just want their comics to be viewed so they can grow an audience. So we have what's called the basic membership that allows us essentially to capture emails so we can let people know like when new comics are coming out, especially if it's like in the genre that they're clearly looking at.
Right.
So there's the free membership, which that's required to look at any comic. And then we have some that are more exclusive, like some of our better comics are in the what's called enhanced membership. And Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, is that $10.99 a month?
Yeah, it's $10.99.
Yeah, and so that's what we have for that, and we're slowly going to be adding more to that category, as well as doing things like, you know, maybe monthly discount codes to the merch store, you know,
Right.
things like that to you know,
Gotcha.
make it more you know, give as much value as we can to the readers as well.
Gotcha. So for the 10.99 a month, the regular reader of independent comics can go on your website and read any comic book you have on the site for 10.99 a month, and they can read
Correct.
unlimited amount. Right? It's not like, oh well, for 10.99 you only get like 2 or 3 titles. For 10.99 you
No.
get
Correct. Yeah.
the entire
like
library.
yeah, it's like Netflix or like Hulu. You can like
Gotcha.
binge.
Right. Well, that's perfect, man. That's perfect. And then so now let me ask you this. So as a creator, right? So I have my comics up there. You guys, have a nice, a nice size fan base growing, and it's 10.99 a month for everybody. What is the what does the artist get from that? Do they just get the exposure, or is there some kind of monetary value that they get from
Yeah, so
having?
the way that we figured it out, because it did take us a while,
Mhm.
basically the way we have it is there is so say it's $10.99 a month, we get X number of dollars a month
Mhm.
from all of the viewers.
Right.
Then we take 20% of that just for maintenance costs, like,
Sure.
you know, to pay for the website and the hosting and all that. And then the rest of that 80% is split up amongst the artists depending on who's drawing views to the website.
Gotcha.
And so, you know, recently we were able to set up some code throughout the website that can tell if someone with an enhanced membership is now viewing your comic. And as long as you're drawing attention, then we'll be splitting up the profits in that manner.
I see.
If say there's a quiet month because we're just, you know, we're still in the beginning phases,
Sure.
and there's not a lot of drawn attention to the enhanced memberships,
Mhm.
then we kind of just split the profits amongst anyone who's in the enhanced columns.
I got you. And now, is there any way for the artist or the creator to see these numbers so that they know exactly? Like, is it very? I mean, I'm sure it's very transparent. You guys basically send out like some kind of report and says, okay, this is why you're getting what you're getting.
So like if they ask, we'll show them all. But
Sure.
at the moment, we don't have because we're the entire site is like we're not pulling these off of some other site. Like
Right.
I'm manually coding most of the site,
Gotcha.
and so some of this stuff I've been kind of it's just taking a while. But eventually, I wanted so that a creator will have like because right now the creators have their own login, but I
Yeah.
wanted so that they have their own dashboard and they'll be able to see exactly when people are viewing their comics, how
Yeah.
many, the demographics, all that. Like that's coming up in the future. For now,
Yeah.
we didn't want to we didn't want to hold up people being able to share their comics
Sure.
because you know
I
I'm
got
slow
you.
at code.
No, that makes total sense. And you know what? That leads me to my next question. So, what is your backgrounds like? What's your background, Greg? How did you guys end up here? You know?
Uh,
Yeah, Greg can go first.
Okay.
so I like yeah. So I write and stuff.
Okay.
You get a share.
I was looking for artists after some time. Like after writing that the Seer Chronicles, people are like, "Oh, you should try to like find an artist." So I went anywhere where people would go, and I asked for an artist, and Dylan was the first person to respond to the ad, and he's like, "Well, I do more like graphic design stuff, but
Okay.
help." And then we talked for like a year, and then I was living in Florida for like 3 months, which was terrible. And then I came back to New York,
Yeah.
and then we started hanging out, and then we created this company, August 2017, and so he does web design and graphic design
Gotcha.
and marketing, and
It's
so,
it's
and then he reads 5 seconds. So he's like, "Here's a new book." So that I learned marketing from like books that he gave me to like read.
that's awesome, dude. Wow. Okay. And so then Dylan, you do the coding. You said your background is more in web design.
Yeah, kind of. So when Greg actually found me, I was actually working as a mechanical engineer. So that's actually what my real background is in.
Gotcha.
I actually kind of self-taught myself coding.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah, so I basically, while I was working a job that I hated, I took a ton of online courses read a lot of marketing and business books and psychology books and influence books, things like that. And after doing that for a couple of years, I created my own marketing company, and that's actually why I was on Craigslist to find Greg. Like I wasn't actually looking for him.
Gotcha.
What I was looking for was people that wanted to pay me to do something.
Right.
And so first I went to the gig section and I messaged a few people on there. And then I don't remember what section he had his posted in, but I know I just went through some random ones.
Right.
And I kind of just looked for like art, and eventually I found his, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I just kind of messaged him. And he was like, I know you're looking for like comic book stuff. I'm like, I can't do that, but I could do stuff like, logos and maybe, cover
Right.
stuff. And so, like even our logo is one of the only pieces of artwork I actually did for our company. So I created the logo.
Dude, that's an amazing story, man. The way you guys found each other, that's great. And you've been doing this for 5 years now. This is like that's how long you guys have been doing this, or how long have you guys been working together?
No, I think it's been
3 years.
3 years.
three years, but 2 years since we officialized the business.
Gotcha. And it works out, right? Because you're in Nashville now, but Greg, you're still in New York, but you guys don't really need to be in the same state to do what you're doing because it's all online.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. That's amazing, dude. Great story, man. So now you're saying that the goal is at least 50 more before the end of the year. Hopefully you guys surpass that. I'm definitely gonna look into you guys because I definitely wanna. I know we've been talking about one of my books going on there, so I'm definitely gonna take the plunge and go for it. But guys, I really appreciate you being on the show. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about or promote while we have a few minutes here?
Maybe thanking all of our people that donated to the Kickstarter, because we only had a goal of about $1,200 and we ended up with like $2,100.
Beautiful.
So, that was super awesome.
Sweet, man. Sweet. That's great. Well, listen, when does it all go out to the people who donated? When does that start? When should they expect some of that stuff?
Yeah, how long does that take, Greg, actually, for the Kickstarter to come in? Because we're still waiting on it.
Oh.
And then once we get it, I'm going to send the surveys out to everybody.
There you go.
Friday or Saturday, whenever I get the chance. And then once we get the money, we mostly do like drop shipping stuff.
There you
like
go.
our store on our website is drop shipping, so
Okay.
we don't have to pay for like inventory or anything.
Right.
So
right.
like my girlfriend actually donated to our Kickstarter, so she wants her hoodie. So when we get the money, she'll get the hoodie.
There you go. All right. Well, listen, guys, good luck with everything. Thank you so much for being on the show. And like I said, I'll be in contact with you guys for sure.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
No worries, man. Good luck in Nashville. Take care, bud.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, Greg.
Thanks.
George Medina.
Wow. That deep voice, kid.
There's your intro.
Thank you. You know what? Just play that.
No,
Would you?
absolutely not.
You're
Absolutely
so
not.
mean, man. You're so mean.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah, SeerNova Comics, man.
50 comics.
I got about. Well, I'm looking at dude. There's more than that. I mean,
50.
unless they. Well, that's how many more they want
50.
before the end of the year. 50 comic book creators.
50.
Yeah, they actually reached out to me a few months back about Wonder Duck, throwing Wonder Duck up there. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna take the plunge and put good old Wonder Duck on the SeerNova Comics.
Nice.
So you were able to get it. Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, I wasn't sure how it worked.
Right.
So I'm glad that I was able to, talk to them about exactly how the whole thing works out.
Nice.
But yeah, apparently, so it's like a Netflix for comics, essentially. You pay $10.99 a month, and then you get unlimited independent comics that you may never find in stores because there's no distribution. And so you get the hardcore,
Yeah.
really gritty underground comics
Yeah.
for $10.99 a month.
Because you're not getting on Diamond distribution.
Yeah,
unless you got-
remember that?
Yes.
Jeez, dude.
They said, excuse me? Excuse me? Who you is? I
Oh,
was like,
man.
I'm Sam the Crazy Man.
Yeah.
Don't you know me?
Right. How much was an ad in that book? Remember how much an ad was going to be in that book?
Mucho dinero.
Buckets of money.
Yes. Un poquito, chavo.
Poquito.
Un poquito. I didn't have too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, no, out. So I think, who was my distributor when I was distributed?
Well, weren't you? You were in Barnes and Nobles for a little bit,
I
right?
was in
Barnes and
Nobles
Nobles,
and Borders.
Borders, right?
A lot of small mom and pop bookstores.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazon.
Right.
I forgot the name of the
Distributor.
Yeah, but the thing was, I wasn't having them picking it up directly from press. I was shipping it to the distributor,
You were.
which is ridiculous.
Right,
That
right.
was that old school, knucklehead, not too familiar with how things work, and want the total creative control. And I was just spending more money than it was. Yeah,
Necessary.
necessary.
Nah, that's all right. You learn. You live. You
Necessary.
learn.
Yes, you live and learn. You learn. So I mean that was a pretty really cool
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, yeah. Very different. Very different from everything else. These guys, and the way they found each other was on Craigslist. That's amazing. I didn't know that. That's awesome, man.
Yes, yes, and then to like bounce and just go
Boom.
to the middle of nowhere.
I'm out. Nashville.
I'm out.
Peace.
Going to
Ah,
Nashville.
Nashville's really nice, though. I've heard
Women
very nice
coming
things
around
about
the
Nashville.
mountain.
No,
When she comes, she be coming around the mountain.
I-
When she comes,
I was
Yeehaw!
working with a buddy who was living in New York.
Yeah.
Lonely as hell, bro. Lonely as hell. Moved to Nashville, got a house. He's married, happy as a pig. And you know what? I'm telling you, man, Nashville's no joke. That's
A whole lot of loving is
Yeah.
what we'll be bringing to make you happy.
wow.
Remember the Partridge Family?
Sure,
No, you don't.
I do. I
You
do.
do?
Remember, I never watched it, but I remember the Partridge Family.
I did.
My thing was Three's Company, bro. That was my joint. Like out of those old like 70s shows, you trying to get the song
Come
in
and
your
knock
head.
on my door.
There it is. It was coming. It was percolating. That shit was
I
percolating.
had to get the rhythm
I know.
first. I was you see how my mind works?
Oh,
It's horrible.
Shoot. Anyway,
Say show tunes nonstop.
no, yes. So definitely
Yeah,
check out
Nexus system.
SeerNova Comics at SeerNovaComics.com.
SeerNova Comics, yes.
And if you're a fan of indie comics, sign up. $10.99 a month is a steal for over. Right now they have they said 55, but I think there's more, and they're definitely trying to get more. So there's a lot of content on their website. And if you are a creator and are interested in having your stuff up there, reach out to them. They are on Instagram. That's where I chat with them, and that's at SeerNova Comics on Instagram. So definitely check them out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what do we got coming down the pike? It's October. Can you believe how fast this year has almost...
Yeah, well, next week we have El Muerto.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
yes,
El Muerto
yes.
next week.
You're
for
good, you.
for Halloween.
You're good, you.
I'm good. I
'Cause
keep
me,
it all.
I'm
I
like-
keep it all. All right, so let's lift the curtain. Let's lift the curtain.
Let's lift the
The
curtain.
reason why we're wearing the same
Bring.
clothes as last week is not because that's what we wore. It's we pre-taped some of this stuff
Yes.
so that you guys can enjoy it
Yes.
in a timely fashion.
in a timely fashion.
Because if George had to travel to Jersey every week,
yes.
it'd be-
from Minnesota.
he'd be broke. And Sam has a very demanding job that in the next couple of weeks you're going
Yeah.
to be doing a lot of busy stuff.
Yes.
So we decided to, in the last couple of days, come in and
Yep.
knock out like 4 interviews
That's
for
how
the
we do.
entire month of
That's
October.
That's how we do.
And so we have Jake
The Snake Roberts.
that we had. Well, by the
Jake.
time you hear this, you would have already heard Jake
Right.
Estrada. You would have already heard Michael DeGracia
Yes.
last week.
Yes. Gracias.
And now is SeerNova Comics. That's this week. And
See ya
then
over there.
next week
Yeah.
is El Muerto, which we set it up that way.
El
So all of these
Muerto.
things are
The
so
dead one.
So if you hear dates that you're like, what? That
What?
date already passed. That's because it did. But we were
Yes.
talking to them before those dates actually came. It's confusing, but you'll understand once you listen to the interviews.
I am Highlander. We travel through time.
So yeah, so that's the whole spiel. All right.
Yes.
Just if you want. I don't even
So
care.
yeah, so basically we pre-recorded a bunch of shows in a couple of days. We did a lot of interviews in a couple of days, so that way we can have a show every week for the month of October.
Correct.
And then when we come back to do the live show in November, we will be live.
We will be live. We will be live.
We will stream live with
yes.
you,
Yes.
and hopefully you would join us. So, we'll pick the date and we'll put the date up so you guys can all join us and we'll promote the hell out of it.
Yeah. Tentative date is what? November 6th, I think, tentative?
Yeah, I think.
Something like that. I think you put that up on on
something
one
like
of your
that.
posts.
Yeah, let me see. I'm put up the
Yeah,
calendar
I think it was then. But yeah, no, we'll definitely be live chatting it up,
Yep.
talking to the listeners, and hopefully people actually show up. The last live show we had was the night of the Comic-Con. November. It was on a Thursday, dude. It
Nobody
was
was
crickets.
listening.
Now, you know what though, Michelle
You guys hurt me.
St. Martin showed up.
Yes, but she
Okay.
didn't participate.
No, that's okay.
She was like this.
And then there was also
I see you.
Keith Murphy showed up.
Yes, he showed
Said
up.
hello.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I think I made a wrong turn.
Oops, he butt dialed us. That's
Yeah,
what-
he was like, who are you?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, but this time around we're hoping to have if we promote it long enough. I mean, we've been promoting it every week,
Every week
which is the last 2 days,
Yes.
in real time, whatever.
in real time.
But now people know that we will be live. So
Yes. So
yes.
we're looking at Wednesday, November 6th for
Yeah.
our next live show.
That's right.
And we're hoping for amazing participation.
Yes.
We're definitely going to do it on YouTube. So all of our Facebook subscribers, can you join us on YouTube on the 6th? It's going to be fun. We're going to have some topics. Anything you want us to revisit or talk through from the topics you hear in the month of October, bring it up. We could talk about guests that you'd like to see on. If you want to be a guest and you want to chit chat and say, yo, how come you're ignoring us? We're not, because you haven't even reached out. So there you go. Right? So we like to hear from you. If you are a cosplayer, if you are a musician, if you are an artist, if you're a creative and you're working your grind, you want to talk to us, give us a holla. Holla.
And if you're going to be in the Poughkeepsie area in New York, if you're going to be up in Poughkeepsie at the Poughkeepsie Galleria on the 27th of October, go check out Incredicon. That's where our friend Michael Gracia will be. That's his show. So if you're going to be at the Poughkeepsie Galleria, that's a Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Bring the kids. It's going to be a good time at the Poughkeepsie Galleria, 2001 South Road in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Yes.
October
and
27th.
Isn't today Bocas's premiere event?
That was last week.
Oh, yeah. So.
That was the 11th.
I'm Highlander. I travel between time. I get any stuff. Yo, thank you for keeping me focused.
I got you,
Right?
brother. I got you. Yin and yang, yin and yang.
Yes. So yeah. So you would have heard that Bocas had his premiere event. Congratulations. I hope it went well.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it is.
We're like messing with time, bro.
Yes. It's no bueno.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So we are on YouTube at Catch the Craze 1, and we're on Twitter at Crazy Comics. And we're on Facebook because you're following us here, and we're also on iTunes podcast at the Catch the Craze, and on Instagram at Catch the Craze, and on Podbeam on Catch the Craze.
There you
So subscribe to us, follow us, join us, chat with us.
Yeah.
Get down with the get down. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And if you want to check out some of my stuff, I'm at medinawhip.com, and I'm also on Instagram at Medina_in_progress. Check me out.
Yes, the Medina Whip. What is that? What would you come up with that
Work in
name?
progress. Because we are all a work in progress. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
The whip. Remember you had like a hoopty and you had a.
I thought it was like
get in
we
the
is
whip.
poor or something.
We
Like
is
that.
We is poor.
We is poor.
We is poor.
We is poor. We got no more money. No more money.
Hit the button. Watch
button.
the show.
Thank you.
Peace.
Wait. Yes. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.